Hello, Pathway Stars. It's your friendly neighborhood music man here with your daily music challenge for Thursday, April 30th. If you were with me yesterday, I asked you to go into Chrome Music Lab and sort of explore some of these different activities and experiments that are in Chrome Music Lab that allow you to take a look at what music sounds like and different aspects of music and just play around with sounds a little bit. Well, today I have an assignment for you that's a little more specific. And actually, I have one assignment for my younger students and one for my older students that's a little more advanced. And what I'd like you to use today is Songmaker, which is this first one in the top left corner of your screen when you go to Chrome Music Lab. So when you come into Songmaker, you have a couple of different things to choose from. You've got a way to make a melody. Let me turn that up for you just a little bit, with higher and lower sounds. And then you also have a way down here on the bottom to make a rhythm. And you can mix those together. If it's something you don't like, remember you just click it to undo it. But what I'd like to ask my younger students to do is two things. One, for my younger kiddos, I want you to explore high and low sounds. So obviously our lower sounds in Songmaker are down here on the bottom part of the screen. Our higher sounds are up here on the upper part of the screen, right? And so what I would really like for you to do is make yourself a pattern that maybe starts off low, high, medium, I don't care where you start it, and just drag along to make yourself a little pattern that sits around in the high and low range, like that. Maybe speed it up with the tempo button here. Take a listen to it. And then my challenge or my question for you is, can you make your voice match that pattern? So if you started with a high spot on the screen like this, you're going to start in the higher part of your voice and then let it slide down and slide back up and down, just following the pattern that you created. We did something similar to this with some chalk art several days ago, I think maybe last week. So this is the same kind of idea, except using Songmaker instead, making your voice travel from high down to low and back up again, following that pattern that you've created. Once you've created a pattern that you like, and again, if you don't like any of the patterns, you can always hit the undo button here at the bottom, or restart, lets you start everything back over. But once you have a pattern that you like, and you like how it's flowing in an up and down pattern, the next part I'd like you to do for my younger kiddos is to add a rhythm underneath. And you can add that rhythm just by clicking in here to put dots and triangles in. And see what that sounds like for you. You can add more or less, slow it down, speed it up. Here you can also change the sounds. Right now I have a marimba playing. You can change it to have a piano sound, some strings like violins and violas and cellos, woodwinds like flutes and clarinets, and then you can have sort of a synthesized sound, which is sort of funky to me. Kind of rock it out with that. So that's what I'd like for my younger kids to explore, those high and low sounds, and then creating a rhythm for yourself under here. Now, for my older kids who'd like to have a little bit more of a challenge, let's just restart here. I'm going to ask you to figure out how to make Songmaker play a specific song for you. And the song I'd like for you guys to use today is Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So before you get started on that, I'm going to give you a few tips. First off, go into settings right here. And to really make Row, Row, Row Your Boat sound great, you're going to want to split the beats into 3 instead of 2. And once you do that, that gives you an extra option, an extra split in the beats that we look at on here. So you can see now instead of 2 in each beat right here, you've got 3, 1, 2, 3 squares, 1, 2, 3 again. And that's going to make it a little bit easier for you to start Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So another tip for you is that you start with that melody on the lowest box right there. That's your first note to begin with. Okay, and I'm going to get you started just a little bit so that you can get this melody going. So here's the first note. So that's the beginning of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Listen to it. And you can sort of hear that there, right? Row, row, row your boat. So once you've gone through that and figured out all of the song, and it should take up your entire screen all the way across to do the whole melody for Row, Row, Row Your Boat, go in and make a rhythm to accompany your melody for Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So that's the challenge for my older students. And here is what I've done so my older kids can see how I created Row, Row, Row Your Boat. You can take a listen to this here. So that's the Row, Row, Row Your Boat I made. So as you can see, it travels around on highs and lows, and we have repeated notes that are in there to make the merrily, 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 merrily part work. And then I also added rhythms underneath. And as always, like I told the younger kids, you can change the sounds, you can adjust the tempo as you go. But my challenge for you guys, for my older folks, is to see if you can figure out the melody to Row, Row, Row Your Boat. If you're not familiar with Row, Row, Row Your Boat, use a different song, something that you know. Mary Had a Little Lamb, Hot Cross Buns, any song that you want to try out, you can. But for Row, Row, Row Your Boat, you start here on this lowest note in the first block. That's where you begin, and you see at the end, you also end on that bottom note. So you figure out the part that goes in between there. Well, stars, I hope you enjoy playing around in Songmaker in Chrome Music Lab. I'll put another link there to Chrome Music Lab so you don't have any trouble finding it again. And I hope that you enjoy exploring in there high and low sounds and rhythms for my little kids and figuring out that melody to Row, Row, Row Your Boat for my older students. Hope you stars have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.